Most people believe that milk has to come from a cow or a lab-processed nut blend, but they couldn't be more wrong. These 8 ancient superfood trees are disrupting the entire food industry by offering natural, sustainable milk alternatives that never expire on a shelf. And here's the part that the big food companies do not want you to know. These trees have been feeding entire civilizations for thousands of years, long before oat milk showed up in a cardboard carton, long before almond milk was pumped out of a factory in California. People were tapping into the living nutrition of trees and thriving. Today, we're bringing that knowledge back. It is time to reclaim your food independence, one tree at a time. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly which trees to plant, what they produce, and how to start building your own permanent home dairy, straight from the canopy to your kitchen. Welcome back to Nature and Green Focus, the channel where we dig into real food freedom, ancient plant wisdom, and the kind of self-sufficiency that no supply chain disruption can take away from you. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we talk about things on this channel that the mainstream gardening world simply is not covering. Now, let's get into it. Before we talk about the trees, we need to talk about why you should care right now in 2026. Walk into any grocery store today and you will find an entire aisle dedicated to milk alternatives. Oat milk, almond milk, soy milk, coconut milk in a box, cashew milk, hemp milk, macadamia milk. The options seem endless. But here's the problem. The majority of what you're buying is not food, it is a food product. Take oat milk, for example. The base ingredient, oats, is cheap, but by the time it reaches your refrigerator shelf, it's been ultra-processed, homogenized, and loaded with rapeseed oil, gums, emulsifiers, and added synthetic vitamins to make it look nutritious on a label. You're essentially paying premium prices for glorified oat water with a marketing budget. And the cost. In many parts of the US, a half-gallon of name-brand oat milk now runs between $4 and $6. That's per carton. For a family drinking milk daily, that adds up to hundreds, sometimes over $1,000 a year, just on milk alternatives. Now, let's talk about the environmental side of this, because it is just as alarming. Industrial almond farming, which dominates the dairy alternative market, requires an extraordinary amount of water. California's Central Valley, which produces the vast majority of the world's almonds, uses billions of gallons of water just for almond irrigation. In a region already facing chronic drought, that is not sustainable. Soy monocultures are not much better. Massive swaths of biodiverse land, including portions of the Amazon, have been cleared to grow soy, much of which ends up in animal feed and processed food products, including soy milk. These are annual crops. They deplete the soil. They require replanting every single season. They demand chemical inputs, fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, just to survive. Now, contrast that with a perennial tree. Plant it once, tend it for a few years, and it feeds you and potentially your grandchildren for decades. No replanting, no tilling, no seasonal dependency on a supply chain that can break down overnight. This is what we mean by living milk. Nutrition sourced not from a factory, but from a living, rooted, ancient organism that gets more productive with every passing year. The 8 trees we're about to explore have been doing exactly this in cultures across Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Pacific for thousands of years. Let's get into the trees. For each one, I'm going to tell you what it produces, where it grows, and how you can start working with it. Tree number 1, the coconut palm, Cocos nucifera. We're starting here because most of you already know coconut milk, but you may not know what it truly is when it comes straight from the tree. Fresh coconut milk pressed from the white flesh of a mature coconut is a completely different food than the canned or carton version sitting on a store shelf. It's alive. It contains medium-chain triglycerides, lauric acid, the same compound found in human breast milk, and a rich fatty acid profile that supports immune function, brain health, and sustained energy. The coconut palm thrives in zones 10 through 12. Think South Florida, Hawaii, coastal Southern California, Puerto Rico, and the Gulf Coast. But even if you live in a cooler zone, you can grow dwarf coconut varieties in large containers and bring them indoors during winter. One mature coconut palm produces between 50 and 200 coconuts per year. Each coconut can yield a full cup or more of pressed milk. Do the math, that's a year-round, zero-cost milk supply from a single tree. Tree number 2, the Moringa tree, Moringa oleifera. Moringa is perhaps the most nutritionally dense tree on the planet, and it's criminally underused in Western food culture. The seeds of the moringa tree can be pressed into a mild, nutrient-rich milk that is gaining serious attention in food independence circles. But beyond the seed milk, the leaves are so protein-rich, containing all 9 essential amino acids, that moringa is often called the miracle tree across East Africa and South Asia, where it has been a food staple for millennia. Moringa grows aggressively in zones 9 through 11, but it can be grown as an annual or container plant in colder climates. In warm regions, it can reach 15 to 20 feet in a single growing season. Cut it back hard, and it bounces right back. If you want one tree that gives you protein, calcium, iron, and a milk alternative in all one plant, moringa is your answer. Tree number 3, the hemp tree or hemp plant, Cannabis sativa. Now, before anyone clicks away, hemp is legal in all 50 states in the U.S. when grown for industrial purposes, and we're talking about hemp seeds here, not anything else. Hemp seed milk is one of the most nutritionally complete plant milks in existence. It contains a near-perfect ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids, a full amino acid profile, and it blends into a creamy, naturally sweet milk with nothing more than seeds, water, and a blender. Grow your own hemp seed crop, legally, and you have a perpetual, ultra-nutritious milk source that costs almost nothing once established. Tree number 4, the macadamia tree, Macadamia integrifolia. Macadamia milk is already showing up in specialty coffee shops and health food stores at a significant premium. A small bottle can run $3 to $5. But the macadamia tree itself, once mature, produces abundantly with very little intervention. Macadamia trees thrive in zones 9 through 11, prefer well-drained soil, and are known for being remarkably drought-tolerant once established. A mature tree can produce 30 to 50 pounds of nuts per year. Blended with filtered water, those nuts yield a creamy, naturally rich milk with a buttery flavor profile that is genuinely superior to anything in a store carton. Macadamias are slow starters. They take 5 to 7 years to reach peak production, but once they hit their stride, they produce for decades. This is the definition of a legacy tree. Tree number 5, the breadfruit tree, Artocarpus altilis. Breadfruit does not get nearly enough credit in the food independence conversation, and that needs to change. When blended with water, breadfruit produces a starchy, mildly sweet milk that works beautifully in cooking, baking, and as a base for smoothies. It is naturally gluten-free, rich in complex carbohydrates, and provides a meaningful amount of fiber and potassium. Breadfruit trees are productive beyond imagination. A single mature tree can yield up to 200 fruits per year. In the Pacific Islands, this tree has historically been the cornerstone of entire food systems. Families did not go hungry as long as their breadfruit trees were standing. Breadfruit grows in zones 10 through 12, but dwarf varieties and container cultivation are expanding its range. If you live in a warm climate and you are not growing breadfruit, you are leaving food on the table. Tree number 5, the Baobab tree, Adansonia digitata. The baobab is one of Africa's most ancient trees. Some specimens are estimated to be over 1,000 years old. And the powdered fruit pulp from the baobab, when dissolved in water, creates a tangy, nutrient-dense beverage that has fueled sub-Saharan communities for generations. Baobab fruit is exceptionally high in vitamin C, containing 6 times more than an orange, as well as calcium, potassium, and prebiotic fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria. While the full baobab tree is tropical and takes many years to reach fruiting maturity, baobab powder sourced from sustainably harvested trees is now widely available. And for the serious homesteader in zones 10 through 12, growing your own baobab is a multi-generational investment in living nutrition. Tree number 6, the Tigernut sedge, Cyperus esculentus. Technically a sedge rather than a tree, but tigernuts deserve a place on this list because of their extraordinary milk-producing history. Horchata de Chufa, the traditional tigernut milk of Spain, has been consumed since at least ancient Egypt. It is creamy, naturally sweet, and requires no additives whatsoever, just tigernuts, water, and thyme. Tigernuts are small tubers that grow prolifically in warm, moist soil and can be cultivated in zones 7 through 11. Once established, a small tigernut patch produces continuously. They're drought-resilient, pest-resistant, and so vigorous that some growers treat them as a managed abundance crop rather than a garden plant. The milk they produce is naturally rich in oleic acid, the same heart-healthy fat found in olive oil, and provides a prebiotic fiber called resistant starch that most modern diets are severely lacking. Tree number 8, the cashew tree, Anacardium occidental. Most people know the cashew nut, but the cashew tree is a complete food system unto itself. Cashew milk is one of the creamiest, most culinarily versatile plant milks available, and it strains beautifully without a nut milk bag, since cashews are soft enough to fully dissolve when blended. It works in coffee, in soups, in baking, in desserts. It is genuinely the closest thing to a neutral, all-purpose dairy substitute. The cashew tree thrives in zones 10 through 11, prefers sandy, well-drained soil, and is surprisingly drought-tolerant. A mature cashew tree produces abundantly once established and has a productive lifespan of several decades. Beyond the nut, the cashew apple, the swollen fruit attached to the nut, is a juicy, high vitamin C food that most of the Western world throws away entirely. On a homestead with a cashew tree, nothing goes to waste. Now that you know the trees, let's talk about how to actually build this system in your own yard or homestead. Step 1 is sourcing. Bypass the grocery store supply chain entirely by going directly to reputable nurseries, seed banks, and online specialty growers. For tropical trees like coconut, breadfruit, and moringa, look for growers in Florida, Hawaii, and California who ship bare root saplings or container plants. For tigernuts and hemp, certified seed suppliers are widely available online. Step 2 is strategic placement. Think like a food forest designer. Put your tallest, most canopy-forming trees, coconut palms, breadfruit, and moringa, on the north side of your planting area, so they do not shade out smaller species. Use the understory for tigernuts and ground cover companions that fix nitrogen and build soil. Step 3 is the economics. Let me give you some real numbers. A family spending $150 a month on plant-based milk alternatives is $1,800 a year, every year indefinitely. A moringa tree sapling costs $5 to $15 and begins producing within 6 months in a warm climate. A coconut palm costs $20 to $50 and becomes fully productive within a few years. A macadamia tree runs $40 to $80 and feeds your family for the next 40 years. The return on investment is not comparable to anything you will find at a grocery store. Step 4 is processing. Every milk on this list is made using the same basic method. Soak if needed, blend with filtered water, strain if desired, and use fresh. No preservatives, no emulsifiers, no additives. Just tree nutrition in its most direct, living form. Start simple. Make your first batch of moringa seed milk or tigernut horchata this week. Let your family taste what real living milk actually tastes like. Then plant your first tree. Here's your challenge. Pick one tree from this list, just one, that grows in your climate zone. Order a sapling or a seed pack this week. Plant it, tend it, and in 1, 2, or 5 years, that tree will begin producing food that no grocery store, no supply chain disruption, no price inflation can ever take away from you. This is what food sovereignty looks like. Not stockpiling cartons in a pantry, not chasing the next trendy milk alternative, but putting roots in the ground and building a living food system that produces for you, season after season, decade after decade. If this video opened your eyes to something new, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who are ready to think differently about where their food comes from. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 8 trees are you most excited to grow? I read every single one. Subscribe to Nature and Green Focus if you haven't yet. We have more content coming on food forests, ancient superfoods, and building real food independence, one plant at a time. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep your roots in good